That's right. It's time for yet another prediction video. And up today, the USC Trojans. And yes, if you're wondering, that does mean that Lincoln Riley will have yet another shitty defense. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Badass, live here on YouTube for you. Make sure if you're not subscribed, you go ahead and press that subscribe button. It really does help me out a whole lot. I really would appreciate it. And also, like I said, make sure you're leaving down below your comments of who you want me to predict next. That's where I get these ideas from, because it gives me a little bit of a good idea. It gives me a good idea of who you guys want to see me predict next. So make sure you're leaving down your comment of who you want me to predict next. But today we're doing USC's 2025 schedule. Now, like I've said in my other prediction videos, you guys know the drill. I go through each week for whoever I'm predicting, and I tell you, what I think their record's going to be, but I don't just tell you the record. That's way too easy. I like to point out losses for a team. That way you know exactly who I have them losing to. Because, like I said before, believe it or not, predicting losses for a team, it's one of the toughest things. You have an idea, but you don't know for sure. It's really tough. But let's go ahead and recap USC's 2024 season. Now, they went 7-5, which some fans may think that's good and all. Yeah, that they made a bowl game, won it. Yeah, it's great and all. But if you look at it from another point of view, when you're a program like USC, you need to be doing better than 7-5. That's just facts. The program that USC is, it's not a 7-5, program. They need to be doing better than 7-5. They started off, with a pretty good win in LSU last season, but then as the season went on, they lost a few games. It just and I think the one thing we can take away from last season is Lincoln Riley still has no fucking idea what he's doing with that defense. Um, and I mean, here's the thing: is some USC fans might be thinking, well, are you saying that USC ain't got no good defensive players? I'm not saying that, but what I am saying, and what I will keep saying because it's the truth, is USC's defense in all sucks. And it does. Nobody can tell me I'm wrong. If you look at USC's defensive stats last season, like if you look in all defensive categories and all, like yards allowed, per game, stuff like that and all that. If I'm almost 100% sure, which I think I am, I'm pretty sure that USC was almost dead last in all of them except one. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think that one defensive stat that they were actually somewhat decent. I think that was maybe they were ranked 13th or something. But every other defensive category and all that, they were almost dead last or were dead last. Their defense just was not that great. And here's the thing is, and I'm not saying Lincoln Riley don't know entirely what he's doing. He has a little bit of an idea of what he's doing as far as the offense goes. Because when it comes to offense, I believe Lincoln Riley is probably one of the best sort of offensive minds in the country. I have no doubt when it comes to offense about Lincoln Riley. He has a history of making some quarterbacks and Heisman candidates and all that. He has a history of having some elite offenses. So I mean, that's not the problem. The problem is when it comes to defense, he's allergic to it. When he hears the word defense, he don't do anything. It's like he gets the fucking flu or something like that. He's allergic to it. He don't know what defense is. He gets defensive players and all that, but he don't do shit with them. If anything, if Lincoln Riley were to get several defensive players, he wouldn't be helping them. He wouldn't be helping their draft stock or anything like that. He'd be making them worse. because he can't build a defense. It's actually hilarious of how bad his defenses have been and all that. You look at Lincoln Riley when he was at Oklahoma and all that, had several playoff appearances and all that. Well, guess what? Lost first round. Why? Shitty defense. It I don't know. He needs to figure it the fuck out. But I have a feeling he's never gonna figure it out. And here's the thing: is he I believe I believe he says it in like press conferences or something like that. He's over here like, well, we're changing this and all that. Oh, we're also changing this, changing these things and all that. It should, improve our defense and all that. I don't see how anybody can believe that. He has said that every single offseason. He said it every single season. Oh, our defense will be improved this year. Oh yeah, our defense is gonna be really good this year and all. And it's never been true. Never. Um, so I mean, they need to figure that fucking defense. And he's hired several defense coordinators saying, "Oh yeah, defense coordinator's pretty good and all that." No, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's not good when your defense ranks dead last in most defensive categories. Um, but I mean, they went 7-5, made it to a bowl game, won that. So USC fans, take that how you want. I'm saying it's a disappointing year. Maybe some of you dipshits think it's an impressive season. I know Florida fans think going 7-5 and 6-6 is impressive. So I don't know about USC, but 7-5 is not that impressive. But anyway, you look at this team this year. Obviously, you look at some players that are leaving. Miller Moss, who's the starting quarterback, he transferred to Louisville. I think he transferred to Louisville. You obviously lose Sakarian Branch, along with Sakarian Branch's brother. Both went to Georgia. So I mean, you're losing several players on offense and defense to the draft and portal, but they do have a little bit of talent coming in. But I really don't think this USC team is gonna do that much more this season. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about it more now. I think USC might do just about how they did last season. I really do. And I mean, if you look at the schedule, right here, um, it- yeah, it looks. I mean, I wouldn't say it looks favorable, but I mean, looking at it right now, I have an idea of which games I think USC will be favored in, and which games I think USC should and will win. But I also look at it and I see a very, very rough stretch of games. And the rough stretch of games that I'm talking about is at Illinois, home versus Michigan, at Notre Dame, at Nebraska. That is a rough stretch for USC. And to be honest with you, I'd be shocked, honestly. Actually, no, I wouldn't be shocked, but if USC does come out with any wins within that 4 game stretch, I see one win, maybe one. That's it. I don't see them winning two of those 4 games. But let's go ahead and get into the schedule and let's see what I think USC's record's going to be for 2025 season. Now, you start off week 1 versus Missouri State. That's a win. As a matter of fact, your first 2 games against Missouri State and Georgia Southern are both wins. Against a bunch of nobodies, USC will easily win those games. Then, after the Georgia Southern game, you have a road game at Purdue. So you start to get into the Big Ten, conference games here. I think Purdue's one of the worst Big Ten teams. I don't think they're that great. I think USC's a better team. So I think USC will win this game. Um, then the week after the road game at Purdue, you face Michigan State at home. Obviously, the Mel Tucker situation that didn't work out that well for Michigan State. And I just say Michigan State. The coach that they hired and all that, I do think he might be able to make Michigan State into like a sort of decent team. But I just think it's going to take Michigan State a little bit more time to get to where they want. So I think USC wins this game as well. And then here we go. The rough stretch of games. Then the following week after the Michigan State game, you have a road game at Illinois. I think you lose this game for a few reasons. I think Illinois is a better team. Um, I like Illinois' coach a lot. I do think he knows what he's doing down there in Illinois. Um, I think Illinois could potentially be a playoff team this year. I think they need to win at least 10 games to probably make the playoffs. I just think if they win 9 games, I think they might get left out. But I do think Illinois could be a playoff team. And I do like this Illinois team this year. And I just think it being a road game and all that, I just think Illinois is going to win this game. So I think USC loses this game. Um, then after the Illinois game, you have a bye week. After that bye week, you come back home to face Michigan. I really was going 50-50 on this game. Both teams have, question marks. You look at Michigan, nobody knows entirely who, the starter's going to be. A lot of people are saying Bryce Underwood. A lot of people are saying somebody else. So nobody knows entirely. That Michigan offense last season was horrendous. Their defense, I think, this year will be pretty good. Um, but I mean, I just I don't know. This game was very tricky for me to pick. But I think Michigan's gonna win this game. I I don't know. I'm not that high on USC this year. Like I said, I think they might do just about how they did last season. Like I really do. But I could be wrong, but I think Michigan wins this game. I know they have question marks, but so does USC. That USC defense, I'm expecting it to be pretty fucking terrible again this year. Um, so I think Michigan will get to win here versus USC. After that Michigan game, you face Notre Dame on the road. That's a clear loss there. Like I said, I believe I said it in the Miami prediction video. I think Notre Dame is going to be one of the best teams this year. And I think what held back this Notre Dame offense last season was Riley Leonard. Obviously, he helped with like the running game and all that, which that was great. It helped them get to a national title game and all that. But I think this year with Carr as their starting quarterback, I think he's going to help out that passing game. They do return Jeremiah Love, one of the best, if not the best, running back in the country. Uh, I like their receivers. I think their defense is going to be loaded. I think it's going to be one of the best defenses. And I think this is going to be way too much for USC to handle on the road. I think Notre Dame gets a win here versus USC. Then after the Notre Dame game, you have another bye week. After that bye week, you go on the road and face at Nebraska. Another game that I was sort of 50-50 on. You look at Nebraska and all that, they had a few chances last season. They could have beat Ohio State. So I mean, Nebraska. I do think they're slowly, very very slowly, sort of getting close to maybe to where they can maybe win about 10 games, maybe. Um, but I don't think Nebraska's there yet. But on the same note, you look at USC. Like I said, their defense. I'm not expecting it to be that great this season, and I think in games like this, I just think that USC defense may let the USC's offense down and not help them enough to win these games like that. And for that reason, I think Nebraska wins this game. It's a road game. Now, do I think Nebraska is entirely better than USC? No, not really. They might be better than USC, but I mean I don't think they're clearly above them that much. But I don't know. In games like this, I think USC could maybe have a chance, and then their defense just lets them down and loses the game for USC. So I think Nebraska beats USC here. So like I said, that's a rough stretch of games. Like I said, I wouldn't be entirely shocked, but if USC did come out with a win within those four games that I mentioned, I could only see one win, maybe one. I don't see two. But anyway, after the road game at Nebraska, you faced Northwestern. Northwestern's another pretty terrible team in the Big Ten. I think USC easily wins that game. Then after the Northwestern game, you have another home game versus Iowa. Iowa, they got a good defense, but their offense, it's like Iowa's offense reminds me of Lincoln Riley with defense. They're both allergic to it. Iowa, you look at their offense, they're allergic to double digit points. And then you look at Lincoln Riley, he's allergic to defense and making a good defense. Um, but I do think USC will win this game. I don't think I was gonna score that many points in this game because their offense, like I just said, they're allergic to scoring double digit points. So I think USC will win this game. After the Iowa game, you go on the road and face Oregon. That's an easy win for Oregon. I just think like these tough games for USC. I just don't think they're gonna win them. I think their defense is gonna play terrible in them. And I just think some of these elite teams are way too much for USC. And I think Oregon. I think Oregon has a better coaching staff. I think they have a better team. They recruit better. Um, I think Oregon's going to be too much in this game. It's a road game, so I think Oregon beats USC here. But then after that Oregon game on the road, you finish off the season with a home game versus UCLA. I think you win that game. I'm not expecting UCLA to do a whole lot this season. I mean, like I said, I don't remember what Prick's video I said it in, but ever since Chip Kelly left UCLA, they just haven't been that great. When he was there, they were at least somewhat half decent. But since he left, they've been in a big old hole that they haven't been able to dig themselves out of. Um, so I mean, there you have it. I got USC going 7-5 again. I'll be at least I believe that 7-5. Let's see. So I have them lose it to at Illinois versus Michigan, at Notre Dame, at Nebraska, at Oregon. So yeah, 7-5. So exactly the same record as they went last season. So I like I said, I believe that's a disappointment. Like I said, maybe some delusional USC fans think that's a good season. I personally don't think it's not. And I just think until Lincoln Riley, fixes the defense, which, like I said, that may never happen. But if he does fix the defense eventually, then hey, maybe we can talk about USC maybe being a little bit more serious. But until they fix that defense, that's what's going to lose them games. So there you have it. I got them going 7-5. Be sure to let me know down below how much of a fucking retard I am. And like I've also said, make sure you're leaving down your comments below who you want me to predict next. But as always, have a good morning.